Yeah, these aren't too bad. Like for the price point, $30 price point, they're okay. I don't like the strap. I don't like how it rubs on my toes when I do that when I walk, but like they're kind of squishy and they're kind of comfortable though. So I don't know. All right, good day to everyone. We got some good stuff this weekend. I'm kind of excited for them all, and we're gonna start off with this RVCA. What is it? VA Molded Slide. I think that's what they called it. Yep, RVCA VA Molded Slide sandals. All right. I've never purchased anything from this brand before. I've seen their hats around, the RVCA hats, and maybe a t-shirt every now and then, but I didn't really know anything about the brand. The logo always made me think of RCA, like old VCRs or something. Very similar to RVCA. But other than that, I really haven't had any exposure to this brand. I did just a little bit of research. One of the founders is like a jiu-jitsu black belt guy, and they seem to have some kind of partnerships with like skateboarders, jiu-jitsu people, artists. So they seem to kind of be trying to do like a kind of like an athletic, like subculture type thing going with their product. You know, try to kind of affiliate themselves with kind of a certain subculture, you could say. So we'll see if the product is any good. I mean, you can affiliate yourself with whoever and whatever, but if your product is garbage, then it doesn't really matter. All that other stuff is just for show. So, and that was kind of my initial impression, kind of reading through the corporate stuff on this slide. It seemed kind of pretentious and gimmicky, but I don't know. I don't want to pass judgment just yet. We'll see if these slides are good. They're kind of soft. They're kind of squishy. I was feeling them when they were in the bag, and it's like, well, these might be good. The foam is rather soft, so we'll see how the ergos are and the midsole and stuff, and find out if they're any good or not. Get them out of this thing, and then I'll read. Oh, they've got this on it. We will clip that, because even if these are garbage, I'll still send them back, with or without this thing. All right, let me read what I have on Amazon. I got these off of Amazon, so I've got it pulled up. Hang on one second. All right, let's read the information. And this is on Amazon. This is where I found them on Amazon. They're listed for $35.99. I believe that's what I paid for them. It looks like they've got a 10% coupon right now for brand promotion you can apply, so that'll save you $350, $360. All right, so the RVCA VA Molded Slide Sandals, bold style and ultimate breathable comfort. That's what the title all lists. And now in the about this item, one thing, it says they're polyurethane. So that might be why the foam feels a little different. They're imported. Okay, it says RVCA, I think it's pronounced RVCA. RVCA VA logo. Bold signature branding highlights modern and minimalist style, making these slides a standout addition to any casual outfit. Show off your love for iconic design while enjoying unparalleled comfort and easy wear. Molded footbed. Superior support crafted to cradle your feet in comfort, ensuring reduced fatigue and enhanced stability throughout the day. Perfect for everyday wear. These slides are your go-to for versatile and relaxed style. So there's lots of emphasis on style. Breathable comfort. Lightweight materials provide ventilation for a cool and fresh feel. Whether you're lounging indoors or stepping out on warm days, these slides are designed to keep you comfortable wherever you go. Durable design. Built to last with premium materials, these slides resist wear and tear for long-lasting use. The sturdy yet lightweight construction ensures reliable performance for both casual and active lifestyles. Let me read, I wanted to read one more thing, just from the brand. So this is kind of their brand pitch. Built on art, driven by culture. RVCA, I think it's pronounced RVCA, thrives at the intersection of art, design, and raw originality. Through the Artist Network program, ANP, we elevate rule breakers and trailblazers, spotlighting artists, athletes, and change makers who shape the culture and redefine the norm. So they're kind of putting forth the vibe of like a skate company is like the main vibe I'm getting. But then too, there's like the martial arts affiliation. So there's definitely a specific image that this company is trying to project. All right, so are these stylish and minimal? I think all slides are rather minimal. I think style is a personal thing, because what I think is stylish, you might not think is stylish. So, all right, let's just focus on the form of these. So, all right, the foam, or I think it said it was polyurethane, is rather soft. It kind of has a very light feel about it, but it has kind of like a good bounce. But it has this kind of vinyl coating on the outside, and just the way the foam feels in hand, like it makes me think of those foam balls that you had when you were a kid, like the foam basketballs or like kickballs that were like a fibrous type of foam that you'd find in like a cheap pillow or something, but then it had like this vinyl coating over top of it. And then like if it got weathered or the dog ripped it open, you notice that this vinyl coating was just like a shell. And then on the interior, it had more of like a textile type of like fabric oriented foam. That's the impression that I'm getting mentally as I compress this in hand. Like I feel like it's that kind of like a dry fibrous foam interior, and then it has that vinyl like coating on the outside. So like if I were to rip this in half, we would see like that dry, I don't know what other descriptive words to I'll see if I can find a photo online, and I'll insert it right here of what I'm talking about. I'm sure somebody somewhere has ripped apart one of those balls and there's an image somewhere of it. But that's just like in my mind's eye, like if I had x-ray vision, like that's what it feels like it is inside. Like I don't think this material on the outside is like solid all the way through. All right, so looking at the design, they mentioned about this cutout, and I didn't read it in that description, but I think in one of the images they had pointed out to this cutout on the side. So I don't know what that's supposed to achieve, other than maybe reducing material and making it a little more lightweight. Like it doesn't cut in too far to where it would affect the footprint at all. It kind of stops right here. So this is essentially our footbed right here. It kind of curves up a little bit right there on the sides where it's smooth. There's really no cup on the heel. The logo on the heel though is a little risen. We've got a little bit of a bump there. So we'll see if that has a sensation underfoot. It looks like we've got a little bit of an arch, kind of on the, it's like like an inside arch here on the inside of the foot. It's very, very minimal in the center. Let me bring this up a little bit. I can hold it up a little better. There we go. We'll bring this up. Okay. So you can see how it's more of an inside of the foot arch here. And then it looks like it's pretty flat in the center. So we'll see how much compression is underfoot, if it helps fill the void. We'll call it the Adidas pocket in the arch, that little center area. And then it looks like it dips down a little bit after the arch. I don't know how much of a ball of the foot cup there is, but that's really not a prominent thing that we find on slides. And then we've got a little toe groove up there that's smooth. It doesn't have the bumps on it, but we've got this this mild texture on the footbed. So that'll probably feel nice barefoot. So I went with the 12s. I think one of the reviews on Amazon had mentioned that these were small, and they do look a little small in hand. So we'll see how the sizing is on these. But I did go with the 12s, so let's carry on with the bottom half of this. So we've got our mold seam right here, and it does follow this line up here with the cutout. So it is integrated to an extent, but after that it's just kind of a line that breaks up our form there, so it's not very well integrated in the rest of the slide. And then we've got kind of a basic zigzag tread pattern on the bottom, which is broken up by these radial lines. So not quite a star or a sun, but they do want to connect at least. So there's a little bit of cohesion from one to the other. I kind of like that when they match the tread patterns on the bottom. We've got some serial numbers, and then origin of production, made in China. Our sizing stickers on the bottom. Those are probably going to fall off when I start walking. So, and then let's look at the strap. So it's kind of a basic strap. It does look like it's rather clean. It's been cut pretty well. I'm not seeing a lot of jagged. That's a little jagged at the bottom there, but it's not bad. It's still clean. There's not a lot of like skin hanging off. Let's see how this one was. Yeah, this one's not, this one's a little more sloppy on the back, but not too bad. So looking at this strap, there's one thing that is kind of a concern, and it's how this is designed up here. So depending on how tight this front is to the toes, when I step down, the fact that it's kind of goes out instead of straight across or even in, like it's not giving room for flex, and this is probably going to be hitting my toes, which I don't know. We'll see how much the pressure is, if it's a bother, but that might be an issue just with that design element there. So they probably should have went straight across, and it would have given more clearance for the flex to happen. But this foam is so soft that it probably isn't an issue, but we will know more when we put them on foot. And there's their VA logo, or the VA logo for this particular slide. So they're mirrored from one to the next, but all right, I think that's all we need to point out. This one's kind of dirty. Or is that a flaw? No, that's some dirt. There's our mold injection point, a bit of a scab. So they don't look too bad. They just look cheap. They feel kind of cheap in hand, but I'm curious about that foam, how soft that foam is. So let's throw them on foot and see how they do. All right, yeah, I think these are going to be a little small. I was just comparing them to the off-court from Nike, which are kind of small on me, and these are smaller than those, so I think these are going to be a little small. But the thing about slides, yeah, they fit, but I'm right on the edge. So I was going to say the thing about slides is you can kind of get away with them being small because of the open toe, you know. So the slide in isn't bad. There's good room between the strap and my foot. That foam is rather soft. So there's some good compression underfoot. The footbed feels a little thin though. Like I'm kind of wanting more material underfoot. But these are they're pretty squishy. They feel a little thin. So the ergonomics aren't very prominent, and I need a bigger size of these because like where my foot is laying within the design, so the toe grooves are all the way back underneath the strap. Like they're way back here. So, and this is so small, I have to slide my foot all the way forward, so my toes aren't even lining up with these toe grooves. So the sizing is small on these, so I went up to a 12 and I need a pair of 13s. So if you're on a half size, you're going to want to go up probably, well, if you want my sizing advice, I would go up. See, like right here, if I left my foot here, the toe grooves line up. But then look at how much I'm hanging off in the back. But to complete that thought, I'd recommend if you're in a half size, going up a size and a half. So I went up to a 12 from an 11 and a half. I should have went up to a 13, and these would have fit better. But if you're on a whole size, I would just go up to the next full size, and you will probably be okay. So the sizing is small on these, but the compression isn't bad. That foam is rather soft underfoot. They feel okay on foot. Let's start walking and try to get a little more of an impression in them. So that strap is hitting my foot, but that foam is so soft and it's so light that I don't really feel it. Like it's not a lot of pressure. It is touching the foot. Yeah, actually that might. So like if I were barefoot, let me take a sock off. That could rub all day long. And I'm already getting, there's a little bit of skin on the front of this one, and I can already feel it kind of digging into my foot. I'll take this sock off. So it's gonna rub on the top of your toes right there as you walk, and that's gonna probably cause blisters or take skin off over time if you're walking any significant length or distance in these. But again, it's still really soft though, that I don't really feel it a whole lot, but it's there, it's happening. I can feel the pressure, I feel it touching, but it's not like painful or anything. But it doesn't take that much pressure to like irritate the skin. It just takes like repetition and time, you know? So that's kind of a major design flaw with these. And we kind of noticed it just in hand when that curved out. So I don't know who thought that was a good idea. What member of the design team was like, hey, let's have this curved out instead of going straight across? I mean, visually it does kind of, it mimics the curve of the slide itself, but it's not functional. It's not a functional design. And these are so soft that whatever ergonomic is there is kind of getting lost. So it does compress enough to where it fills the arch, but the ergos feel off though, just because things aren't lining up where they need to with the sizing. So I can't really give too much comment on the ergos. It just feels like a soft footbed. Like I'm not really getting much ergonomic impression. That little rise on the heel is completely compressing too. Like it doesn't stand out in my mind. Like it's not a focal point or anything. So these aren't terrible. The $30 price point isn't too bad. I don't like how it touches my foot on the front with the strap. That's very poor design. But I kind of like the foam, even as like cheap as of an impression that it gives. Here, let's get a down low angle. So even though this foam makes me think of like a cheap foam kid's ball, it's kind of nice and soft underfoot. The texture on the footbed, those little bumps feel kind of nice on my bare foot. So like the overall like footprint isn't bad, like walking in them. It's just the sizing is too small for me with these. So like things aren't lining up properly, like I mentioned. And they're nice and light too. So they're not terrible. Like I don't really have a negative impression in my mind, but there's not a lot of positives going on with it. And I think if I had gone a size up, I'd be able to get a better impression of them. But they're not terrible. They're not terrible. They're comfortable. I kind of like how they look. They had a few different colors. I think there was like a black, this gray, and then I think they had like an olive green too. But so you got a few different color options. So these are they're kind of mid. I can't really give them a negative other than that strap. I can see that being an issue with the rubbing, so that might be a deal breaker. Like I really can't recommend them because of that strap. But everything else in them is okay. Like the foam's good. The comfort is okay. They're kind of sporty, casual. Like the strap is secure enough to where they're not slipping around on my foot at all. I'm curious, had I gone up another size, if they would have been a little loose. But like the strap doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of weird how it fits too. Because it's almost locking in side to side, like on the width. And then there's a little space on the whole top of it. So I've got a little space here, I've got a little space here. It's kind of contacting a little bit back here, but it's mainly contacting on the sides. So that's holding my foot in primarily. And then the slide just kind of shifts as I walk. So that's kind of interesting in terms of its fit, but so I mean these get kind of like a C grade, I guess. I don't hate them, but I don't like them. You know, like they're not terrible, but they're not good. Like I don't want them. I'm gonna send them back. So I guess if you're going for the brand, if you want to be part of this brand and what they're representing as far as the culture goes, you know, you can get these. They're kind of comfy. I guess they'd be good for like throwing on after like a spar or something, if you're like into the jiu-jitsu scene. If these are representative of that scene, I mean, these could be good to throw on for a minute, just when you're like leaving the gym or something, you know. But I wouldn't really recommend these for any significant length of time or use, just because of that rubbing on the toes. But again, this foam is so soft that it might be a non-issue. It might not ever cause any irritation with your skin over extended time. But I just don't like how there's that contact with the slide. That's my main gripe with it. But yeah, these aren't too bad. Like for the price point, $30 price point, they're okay. I don't like the strap. I don't like how it rubs on my toes when I do that, when I walk. But Like they're kind of squishy and they're kind of comfortable though. So I don't know. Like I said, if you're big on this brand, then go for it. But if you're like whatever to RVCA, then it's kind of whatever. You know, it's like you can keep your slides. I don't need them. So all right, I think that's all I have to say about these. The video is probably super long, like all of them. Here, let me flip this. Oh yeah, the sizing is probably a negative too. I guess the strap and the sizing are the only negatives I can say about them. So size up if you want them. That would be my recommendation. That way everything lines up properly. Because right here my toes need to be back here based on that toe groove, but then that brings my heel hanging off the edge. So definitely size up. So these are okay. They're kind of a C grade. They're not anything that I would really recommend, but I wouldn't like warn you to stay away from them or anything like that. Like I can't give them a negative grade or a negative critique really, because there's nothing really negative about them other than just that strap, the front of that strap wanting to rub on the toes. But other than that, these are kind of okay. So they're not bad. I like the foam. I like how soft they are. The price point isn't bad. These shouldn't be any more than $30. They're not really giving you much. So I don't know. They're whatever. Not bad, but not that good either. So all right, that's it for the RVCA slides. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. We got some good ones coming up here today. I've got some good ones I'm excited about. So we will see you in those videos. All right, cheers. See ya. Bye. Thank you.